welcome to Knitting Noodles. In today's video, I wanted to go over how to do a stitch pattern, but I am going to pick it at random from this book. This is the Complete Photo Guide to Knitting. It has some patterns, but it also has a huge selection of stitch patterns. So I'm going to randomly flip to a page and I will go over step by step how to do that stitch pattern. Ready? Let's pick a random one. Alright, we flip to this page. Let's see. I want to pick one that is doable, that isn't going to be too complicated. So this is the page that I flipped to. All of these looking a little difficult. Let me read through. Guest appearance by the kitty cat. Smile, you're on camera. Whoa! Careful. Where are you going? Alright, all of these are pretty difficult. I want to know how to do... I think the quilted one looks the nicest, so I think we're gonna try this one first. And we're gonna see what we can do. See, no promises. I don't even know if I can do it. We'll see. I'll find out. I'll figure it out. Then I'll break it down for everyone. Alright, so I did a test run, and it actually is a lot easier than it looks in the pattern. I had some figuring out to do. I had a learning curve while doing this. Let's see if I'm holding it the right way. I'm not. So you can see at the bottom, I kind of twisted these. Oh, come on, focus. You can do it. It's refusing to focus. Right here, it's twisted. Up here, I fixed that and made it straight. I couldn't figure out how to pick up the stitch in front that creates this pattern at first. That's why it started off twisted. But I figured it out, and I'll show everyone else how to do that. Again, this looks really complicated and fancy. It's almost like a honeycomb. The pattern is called Quilted Diamonds, but I'm pretty sure it has other names because most patterns have multiple names. To me, this looks like a honeycomb, which is what I would call it, especially since I used it on yellow. I think that's especially why I'm thinking of honeycombs. But I think it looks really nice, and it adds like a really nice texture. And really, it's just stockinette stitch with a fancy little stitch overlay that gives it a little texture. But it's fun, and I think it would be really fun on like a hat or a scarf even. I think that would look like a nice little detail. And also the benefit of this is that it makes the piece lay flat. It does curl a little bit this way though, but if you make it long enough, that doesn't matter. But stockinette stitch, usually it'll curl this way, but because there's structure here from these extra stitches, it actually holds pretty flat pretty well. Alright, so let's get into how to do this. Alright, so for this pattern, it is an 8-row repeating pattern. So basically what that means is you do these 8 rows in order, and then you start from the beginning, you do them again. That's just an 8 whatever row repeat. This could also be graphed out. I've seen that on a few other patterns, but it's nice that it's written out. Now it tells you up here how many to cast on, so you can alter this to any size as long as it is a multiple of 4 plus 1. For my test square, I did 16 multiple of 4 plus 1, so 17. I might do for this one a little wider, because I do like how this looks. I think I'll do 21. So what I have here is, these are size 6 needles, which also are 4.2 millimeter. And then I just have some scrap yarn. And in your preferred cast on method, you're going to cast on your desired number of stitches, as long as it is a multiple of 4 plus 1. You could even just do 5 stitches. That's the minimum that you can do. It's 5 plus stitches. So I am gonna do a German longtail cast on, which is my go-to cast on method. I have a video on that over here if you want to learn how to do this cast on. And I'm just gonna do 21 because that's multiple of 4 plus the 1. Alright, I'll come back with 21 stitches. Okay, I have my 21 stitches, and now we start on the pattern. So, reading this, it says purl 1, yarn in back, slip 3, yarn in front, purl 1, and repeat from the star across row. Now, how you interpret that, you're starting from the wrong side, which means the first stitch is going to be, or the first side is going to be purl because it's a stockinette stitch base, where right side is knitting and wrong side is purling. So we are going to purl the first stitch like it said. Then it says yarn in back. All that means is we're going to take the yarn and put it in back of the needle. We are now going to slip 3 stitches. Now we're on the purl side, so slipping stitches, we're going to slip them as if they were going to be purled. So we're going to go in as if we're going to purl, slip it off the needle. In as if we're going to purl, slip it off the needle. In as if we're going to purl, slip it off the needle. Then we're going to bring the yarn back into the front, and then we're going to purl 1 stitch. And what it means when repeat from star across the row, that means we go back to the first star. We said after that purl stitch, we're going to put the yarn in back, and we're going to slip 3. And you're going to continue that until the last 1 stitch. And purl. Bring it to the back, slip those 3. Yarn is really sticking to my needles right now. First few rows are always like that. At least for me, I don't know about everyone else. Alright, coming up to the last set. 1, 2, 3. Bring the yarn back in front, and then we purl the last stitch. Now the next 2 rows are nice and easy. We're just going to knit and we're just going to purl. And you can see on this front side, there are little, I don't know how to describe them, loops over the stitches, I guess you would call it. It's strings in front of the stitches. That comes because we put the yarn in back and we carried it in front of the 3 stitches that we slipped. Alright, so for right now we're ignoring those and we're going to knit this row, and then we're going to purl on the wrong side. So we'll come back with that done. Alright, finished purling the wrong side, and now we get to the fun part where we actually create this really cool diamond pattern. So that comes in row number 4. So first we're going to knit 2 stitches, and then comes the complicated wording. So it says knit 2, then you're going to place the needle under the loop formed by slipping 3 in row 1, and knit the loop and the next stitch together. Then you're going to knit 3 and then repeat from the star across a row, ending with knit 2. Okay, so we started with knit 2. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up that loop that we created. So you get to decide here which you like better. The twisted one, I think that looks nice if you're going for more of a honeycomb-like effect, or if you want it to lay flat like this. So I'll show you both methods which one you would like to do. So if you want more of the honeycomb look, the twisted, what you'd do is you'd take your needle, go from the bottom and up through that loop, and then you're going to take that loop and the next stitch and you're going to knit it two together, or knit both of those together. Now if you like how it looks straight like this, which I personally think that this looks a little nicer, I think it looks more sophisticated. This looks more textured if you're going just for textured. I think this looks a little more sophisticated in my opinion for like a decorative edition. What you do is you go from the top and pick it up like that. And then again, you take that loop that you picked up and the next stitch, and you're gonna knit those two together. Now what this does, why you have to knit both of them together, is because you're picking up an extra stitch, so you have to get rid of a stitch. That's why you have to knit both of them as if they're one. That way you still end up with the same amount of stitches. Right, and then we have to knit three. Three stitches, and then again we have this loop. Go from the top, scoop it up onto that needle, and knit both as if they were one. Just like that. And we just continue that across the row. So knitting the three, picking up the loop, and knitting together. Perfecto. After you pick up the last loop, you're left with 2 stitches on the needle, and you're just going to knit those 2. And we've created our first section of little textured diamonds. Looks really nice. And then we're going to continue on to the next row. Our next row is a setup row for the next set of diamonds. So this is row number 5. So row 5 says purl 3, yarn in back, slip 3, yarn in front, purl 1, repeat from star across the row, and ending last, repeat purl 3. So to break it down, what that means is you're going to purl 3, put the yarn to the back, slip 3 stitches, put the yarn back in front, purl 1, and repeat from that star until there's only 3 stitches left, and you're going to purl those 3. So I'll show you what that looks like. So purl 1, 2, 3, put the yarn to the back, slip 3 stitches, and remember on the purl side we're going to slip them as if we're purling them. So purl, or slip those 3 purl-wise, put the yarn back in front, purl 1, bring it back to the back, slip another 3. Now how I know that it's slipping purl-wise, even though it doesn't say here, is because I did try slipping it knit-wise and it did not work out. So, pattern doesn't say, but you do need to do it purl-wise. Otherwise the next row gets a little funky. And right here, after we slip the last 3, you see that there's 3 stitches left on the needle, and we are just going to purl all 3 of those. 2, 3. That was the end of row number 5. This is what it looks like now. We have the setup for the next set of diamonds. So next is row 6 and row 7. We're going to knit and then we're going to purl. And then we get to do the next row, which is the next diamonds. So I'll skip the knit and the purl and I'll come back for row 8. Alright, I finished purling, which was row 7, so now we're on to row 8, which is making that next set of these. No, that was the motorcycle sports car. Alright, so first let me tell you what it says. So, reading it, it says knit 4, place needle under the loop formed by slip 3 in row 5, and knit the loop and next stitch together, knit 3, repeat from star across row, and last repeat knit 4. So it means you're going to knit 4 stitches, you're going to place the needle underneath that loop that you created, pick it up and knit that stitch and the next stitch as if they were one. Then you're going to knit 3, then you're going to repeat from the star, which means you're going to, again, pick up another loop and repeat from there until there's only 4 stitches left on your needle, and those you're going to knit. So to start off, we're going to knit those 4 stitches. So then we're going to reach down and grab our little loop there, just like that. Then you're going to go through the loop and the next stitch, knit it as if they were one. That catches that up here and stretches it out into that diamond. You're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and pick up the next loop. And repeat that across the row until there are only 4 stitches left on your needle. Alright, I just did the last loop. There are 4 stitches left on the needle, and I am going to knit all 4 of those. And that is 8 rows repeating of the Quilted Diamond Stitch pattern. Now, if you keep working it, it'll eventually come to look like this. All you do is once you finish 8, you go back to 1 and do the whole process over again and keep repeating until it's the length that you want it to be in. So again, that's what it looks like after working it for a little while. It looks really cool, really fancy, and honestly, it is a pretty simple pattern. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this concept, let me know and I'll do another one where we randomly pick a pattern, and then I will do a test run and then show you what I learned from doing it. So this, again, is Quilted Diamonds. Let me know how you did, and I guess if this broke it down and made it a little easier. I'll see you all next week. Bye!